Hey, fellow watchers, do you want a 1-to-1 scale replica of Captain America's shield? If so, you can join the raffle by subscribing to the Marvelous Wave YouTube channel and then going over to Twitter and following the Stupendous Wave. After this, tweet at Stupendous Wave, hashtag the Marvelous Wave, and tell us your favorite Marvel villain. The winner will be announced on March 19th, so keep an eye out, watchers. At the end of episode 8 of Wandavision, we finally learn that Wanda's powers are chaos magic, and although this is an awesome revelation, it's not news for any fans of the comics. Since this revelation given to us by Agatha, we finally have some knowledge of just what makes Wanda Scarlet Witch in the MCU. But what is chaos magic, and what does this mean for the MCU and Wanda? Everything Agatha says to Wanda before naming her the Scarlet Witch rings true to what chaos magic is and is capable of. But let's dig deeper into what this magic is, where it comes from, and just what it may mean to the MCU. Chaos magic is one of the most powerful magics in all of the Marvel Universe, wielded by very few, namely Chthon, Scarlet Witch, and Shuma-Gorath. Chthon, an elder god created by the Demiurge, is the original wielder of chaos magic. When Chthon and his siblings resided on the Earth, many of them sought power, becoming demons and constantly warring for influence over the Earth. To gain more power and dominion over his siblings, Chthon studied the mystical forces of the universe, becoming Earth's first black magician and wielder of chaos magic. However, in response to this warring between Chthon and his siblings, his sister Gaia, who had not been corrupted by power, begged the Demiurge to give her the means to rid the world of these demons and to allow the life in the sea to evolve. In time, she would give birth to the being that would eventually become the Demogorg, or the God Eater. This is where we see some of the power of chaos magic, and its ability to shape and create realities. Chthon used his magic to create an alternate dimension known as the Flickering Realm, Calais, or Other Realm, for him to escape into to avoid the God Eater's rampage. Prior to escaping to the Flickering Realm, Chthon made sure to leave a means to open a door to his new realm and spread his influence on Earth. He wrote what would eventually end up in the pages of the Darkhold, to keep both a link between him and the Earth, so he could use it to return one day, and he would on multiple occasions, but it was also to let those who used the arcane writings to gain power in exchange for their souls. During Chthon's time in his dimension, he once again used chaos magic to create demons known as the N'Garai, which he used to do his bidding and enslave humanity. During one of his returns, Chthon used chaos magic to rule over the world as the god of chaos, and this is where we see him become part of Wanda's story. He was eventually defeated by the mages of Earth, who created a lie: there is no god of chaos, and there is no chaos magic. It is at this point that he would be locked in Mount Wundagore, located in Transia, both of which would one day be the birthplace of Wanda and Pietro. Before the twins' birth, and even before Wanda's powers are recognized as chaos magic, this lie is part of the reason for chaos magic becoming a myth, to even the Sorcerer Supreme, for many years. It is at the twins' birth that this demonic elder god reached out and touched Wanda, granting her a part of his chaos magic, welcoming this magic back into the world. Without chaos magic, Wanda would have only had her mutant ability to manipulate energy, but it is the combination of her mutant and chaos magic that makes her one of the most powerful magic users in the Marvel Universe. This event also ties Wanda and Pietro's fate to Chthon, where he uses his follower Mordred and the Darkhold's writings to bring him back into the world by possessing Wanda and Pietro on multiple occasions. We see chaos magic flow through each of them, defeating many Avengers, changing the world to Chthon's design, and enslaving humanity and using them to fuel his power. Chaos magic is shown at its full potential, and it is devastating and could possibly even destroy reality. So what does a fraction of this power mean in Wanda's hands? The biggest examples we have of chaos magic are the birth of her twins, Avengers Dissembled, and the House of M. These stories show the unimaginable power that even a part of the damage and strength chaos magic can produce. When Wanda learns that she has chaos magic, she learns how to channel it and control it with the help of her teacher Agatha Harkness, as Wanda only used it to cast small hexes and spells unknowingly tied to her mutant powers. This would eventually lead to the birth of her twins. But due to the use of the slivers of Mephisto's life force to give William and Thomas their powers, and the twins being reabsorbed into his being, it set in motion the events that would change the fabric of reality. After Agatha's attempt to wipe Wanda's mind of the existence of the twins and the Avengers denying that she ever had twins, Wanda would eventually discover this lie by Agatha and the Avengers. Wanda would eventually give in to her grief, and whether it was knowingly or unknowingly, she changed reality multiple times in an attempt to either get revenge on those who lied or just to find happiness. She would bring dead Avengers back to life and use them as bombs, control Vision into releasing some of Ultron's soldiers, and making Tony Stark act as if he was drunk in front of the UN, and even creating a Kree army to attack Earth and the Avengers. After all of this chaos, she is revealed to be the one behind all of these attacks by Doctor Strange, much to the disbelief of the Avengers. Before this revelation, the Avengers had no knowledge of what was going on, and they thought it was just one of the worst days ever. But at the same time, there were a few Avengers that knew that none of these situations made sense. Because of these events, she ends up killing Scott Lang, her husband Vision, and Hawkeye, while leaving others on the team in critical condition. Wanda's powers that she before claimed were chaos magic, the powers to control and shape reality, which Doctor Strange notably calls a myth, confirming that he didn't even know about Chthon's magic, nearly destroyed the Avengers and the world. Doctor Strange does put Wanda's abilities to both control and not control this magic, chaos magic, into perspective. He says, "It means reality controls her. Imagination becomes the enemy. Structure disappears. Reality eventually, as she knows it, starts to slip away. Elude her. Blur. Drama, conflict, tragedy. They become excuses to change the world to fit the image she has for it. Anything she doesn't like, she can change, no matter how slight. People, places, things, everything is hers to change. But every time she does that, every time she gives in to her desires, no matter how noble they may be, a little more of her slips away. She loses herself, her reason, but she struggles quietly every day to keep it in check, to keep it all together. For a person of strong mind and body, for a person of pure spirit, the task of coping with these powers would be all-consuming. For years, Wanda did her best to keep these powers in check. But with the many struggles in Wanda's life, it made it very difficult to avoid the temptation to change her reality so she could be happy for once. This story concludes with Wanda trying to create a happy life for herself by bringing her boys and Vision back, only to have the Avengers interrupt it and once again make all her hopes vanish. She is shown the truth by Doctor Strange and the Eye of Agamotto, and after falling unconscious, she is taken by her father Magneto to Genosha to receive help for her grief-addled mind from Charles Xavier. This starts off the events of House of M, where Wanda once again changes reality, but on a worldwide scale. Through some manipulation of Quicksilver, she changes the world to one Magneto would find happiness in, where mutants are the majority and her children are alive and well. But after many heroes are awakened to this false reality, Wanda then changed things and says no more mutants, ridding the world of a majority of mutants. This is once again only a fraction of the magic that Chthon can wield, and it nearly destroyed the world a few times over. And knowing this, we can pull some parallels and theories for the MCU. With Chthon being the master of chaos magic in the comics, it could be very likely that he could be the reason for Wanda's powers in the MCU. With a possibly new version of the Darkhold appearing in Agatha's basement, we may have the door to the Flickering Realm and Chthon. Although he may not appear in Wandavision, he is likely being set up to appear in future stories. And since we learned that Wanda has had these powers from birth, only to be amplified by the Soul Stone later, perhaps Sokovia is akin to Transia, and Wundagore Mountain may exist within this fictional country, housing a dormant Chthon. And perhaps we may even come to find that Wanda and Pietro's parents were adoptive parents, as they were in the comics. It could be a way to bring a new version of Magneto into the MCU, to find out that Magda, his wife, in fear of Magneto's growing anger and power, fled to give birth to the twins elsewhere, and then giving them up to another to keep them safe from their father's influence. Then there is the sheer power Wanda wields. From the power we have seen so far, she has changed the reality of a whole town using spells unknowingly and attracting the attention of another powerful witch. If she is able to do this unknowingly without any magical knowledge beforehand, could her abilities in Wandavision be a precursor to much bigger events? Could it be possible that this is all leading up to a House of M-esque ending, where instead of no mutants, she introduces mutants into the world? Or even opens doors into other realities that may tie directly to the comics or other Marvel properties we have seen over the years? WandaVision has really set up for some big changes to the MCU. Doctor Strange may come to save the day, and Agatha may turn from her probable bid for more power to teach Wanda to control her magic. But then again, we may see Wanda tear reality asunder before the end of her story in the MCU. What stories do you hope to see come from the revelation of chaos magic? What do you think this magic means to the MCU? And how do you think episode 9 is going to end? Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.